our channel.
Thanks for joining us.
Today we're going to be making two kinds of wings today. Garlic Parmesan and honey barbecue. And we're going to make them in our air fryer.
Delicious. You'll see. If you try this recipe, it's very good. We're also going to be making some jalapeno poppers topped with cheddar cheese and some other good ingredients that we'll talk about later in the video. So we're going to just season our chicken. When you're making your chicken in the air fryer, it's the same process as if you're going to fry it or whatever else you're doing to it. We're going to be making our wings naked. That means without flour, for those of you who may not know that. They're just going to be seasoned, and we're going to just put them right in the air fryer with a little bit, maybe a tablespoon of oil. Just toss them a little bit, and that's it. And they'll cook really easily. They'll cook for 25 minutes. So you're going to cook one side for 15 minutes and then flip them over and cook the other side for 2 minutes in the air fryer. There's no need to toss them or anything, just flip them over. You'll see later in the video.
And our air fryer is 4 quarts, so we can get like 12 wings into one batch. So if you have a smaller one, just adjust accordingly. It's still 15 minutes and then flip and then 10 on the other.
As you can see here, I'm going to be putting the 12 wings in there. You don't want to stack them on top of each other though, but you just want to get them in here as many as you can for the area that you have. And they work out really well. There's plenty of room for 12 wings and they cook just fine.
Your Tetris skills are showing.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I love to fit them in just perfectly. And of course, if you have larger pieces of chicken, you may not be able to get 12 pieces, you know. So you may get just a few less pieces, just depending on the size of your chicken.
And we have our temperature set to 390. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
And so we're going to go ahead and mix up our barbecue sauce and the honey. We're going to do those first.
Yes. So while our first batch is in the air fryer, I have 1 cup of Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue sauce. Of course, you can use whatever barbecue sauce you'd like. This is just the sauce that we love.
And it's delicious.
It is.
my son introduced us to this sauce years ago, and we've been using it ever since. So it's very good. And it mixes well with the honey.
Yeah.
So.
And that was about a half a cup of honey as well.
See, there it is, the honey barbecue sauce. It's really good. I love it because you don't need to add to it. I know there's some barbecue sauces on the market that they really need help still when the flavor is just not where it should be. But this sauce has everything, and it tastes really good.
Yeah.
And it just blends really well with the honey. It's very good.
And I know the sauce is honey barbecue sauce, but you can never have too much honey.
Yeah, that's true. The honey is great. You know, it just gives you more flavor to add extra honey to the barbecue sauce. So here you see I'm just flipping the wings over. They've already cooked for 15 minutes, and I'm just going to cook them for 10 more minutes on the other side. So they're looking good so far.
One thing you could do after tossing your wings that we didn't do, just preference, is you could put them into your oven after they're coated in the sauce and, you know, cook them for a little bit just so the sauce can caramelize on the wings and they can be kind of sticky. It'd be so good that way too.
Yeah, you can do that, and you can put them back in the air fryer as well too for a short period of time, and that works well. It's another great idea. As you can see, they're coming out. They don't stick or anything. It's just a nice process. And then I love cooking in the air fryer. They look delicious. I love cooking in the air fryer because you can do other things while you're cooking the wings.
Yeah.
Unlike when you're frying, you have to go and keep checking or whatever. The air fryer is great.
Yep, you don't got to babysit.
Exactly. And then you know you're getting some good stuff going on in there.
One thing I didn't realize, I don't know why I never thought about this, was that they get really hot. When I first used it, I was like, oh my goodness, that is hot.
Yeah, I have met my match. My daughter always says that I have numb fingertips and everything because I can really touch things that are pretty hot. But this air fryer, no joke. Everything gets really hot in the air fryer. So as you can see, this is really easy. All we did was mix the sauce up and put the wings in there and mix them up.
Yeah, so I'm starting on the garlic parmesan. This is 1 stick of butter, and then I'm going to add in about a half a cup of grated parmesan. You can use shredded, and you can use freshly shredded if you want to. I've never seen anyone use like the shards. They look like kind of like shards of cheese. I can't think of what they're called right now.
Yeah, we've used shredded cheese before, and it works just as well. So. And
then I put in some garlic powder, and I also put in some parsley just to taste. I didn't really measure those. But you want to have this type of consistency. You don't want it to be too thick because then you won't get your wings coated. So if you change any of the measurements, make sure it's not too thick.
This is delicious. It's so good.
I think this is my favorite of the two. And I usually like honey barbecue, but...
See. It's like you don't know which one you like. And then you eat the other one and it's like, oh, I like these better. But they're both really good. So.
And for this one, I just... put them in a bowl that had a top on them so I could just toss them kind of like they do in the restaurants. But
yeah, you don't even have to do that because I don't like to toss things in bowl. I don't know why. When I'm making these wings, I don't usually toss them. I just usually put the sauce in a bowl, pour it over, and I just kind of stir it up, that
like
way.
I did with the other wings.
Yeah.
Those are so good.
Y'all better ask somebody. Those are good. All right, so I'm going to get started on the jalapeno poppers. Now, this is my first time making, as I said, Ricki's recipe. So, she's kind of helping me out as far as what to do to get everything out. Now, normally, some people like to wear gloves when they're doing this because the seeds and the, what is it called, Ricki?
The vein.
The vein, thank you. That's where the heat is. And you don't want to touch that and then put your fingers in your eyes or whatever. So it's very hot. So you want to be careful when you're working with this and make sure you wash your hands really well.
And when you wash your hands, make sure you really, really scrub under your nails. I know you're supposed to do that anyway.
Exactly.
But scrub even harder because it might still be lingering under there.
Yeah, the little pepper. Then you rub your eyes and then you'll find out the hard way.
Exactly.
So these are really easy to get everything out of. It came out, as you can see, everything. I got everything out really well. And then have them prepared.
Once you get the vein out, if you have somebody that's like sensitive to spice, I would make sure you really, really get that vein out because it might be a surprise. You might eat one and be like, oh yeah, that was good. And then you eat the next one. It's like, whoa.
Right.
Where did that come from?
That happened to me before with something different.
So after she deveined them and everything, she gave them a quick rinse just to make sure all the seeds and stuff were gone as well.
Now here you see us preparing the filling for the jalapeno poppers. And that's cream cheese. This is 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese. Now, normally you would leave it out and it would be not as stiff, but this is fine, just more elbow work. But normally you would leave it out longer so it won't be as hard. So then you would just put your green onions in there, and that's like just 1 or 2 stems, however many you want to put in there, stalks or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
Of green onions, scallions or whatever. And then I'm just putting the shredded cheddar cheese in there as well. And I'm just going to mix that up. So yeah, it's a very easy process.
And feel free to use whatever cheese you want to, and you don't even have to use green onions. You can use chives if you want to, or just leave them out completely.
Yes, I was surprised at how flavorful this recipe is. And then there's bacon bits as well. I'm just going to use, as you can see, about a handful of bacon bits. But this is another great recipe where you can put as much or as little as you like. If you don't want to have salt or whatever, you can eliminate the bacon or whatever. You can use turkey bacon. You can cook your own bacon. And,
I just wouldn't, this is just me. The fake bacon bits. I don't even use those on my salad. So
I know.
If I use packaged bacon bits, they're going to be the real, bacon bits.
Yeah, those other ones are pretty bad. But nothing beats the real thing, of course. So you can just cook your bacon in your air fryer, or you can fry it. And I like to cook mine to a real good crisp. But if you don't, you may have to cut it up. There's more cutting involved in that process. But if you cook them in an air fryer till they're crispy, or in the microwave even, or fry them, just make sure they're crispy and you can break them up evenly.
So the last thing we just put in there also was garlic powder and parsley. So
that's right.
That's also to taste.
Now these were so easy to stuff, and I'm just using, as you can see before, we only made 5, which gave us 10 poppers. So you just cut those in half and stuff them with your stuffing, and it works really good.
And when you're stuffing, make sure you get it down into the pepper before you go back and maybe use extra stuffing, so it won't be like a gap, you know.
Right, yeah, because it's like a little boat, and you want to make sure you get that filling down in there. As you can see, I'm pushing it down in there, and it just went in there. They were so easy to do. So my first time, I'm like, okay, this is good. I can do this.
Right.
So I'm just topping it with cheddar cheese.
And we had a little bit of mixture left over too, and I think they'd be good with like some wheat thins, or if you have extra left over.
Right, even potato chips or something like that, if you want. Or you can make a baked potato and use that same mixture.
That'd be so good.
Because it's the same thing that we use in our baked potatoes.
Yeah.
So then we're gonna just put these in the oven, covered.
Hold on, y'all. We forgot to tell you to make sure your foil isn't touching your jalapeno poppers when you cover them. Make sure your foil is tinted a little bit.
Yeah, just give it a little hype.
Yeah, so your cheese won't come off when you pull your foil off.
Don't want that.
Right.
Carry on. And then for the last 10 minutes or so, leave it uncovered. So how long did we leave it in there for the first cooking?
About 20 to 25 minutes. Just keep your eye on them. You don't want your jalapenos to be crunchy. I mean, unless you're into that. You don't want them to be crunchy. You want them to have a bite to them, but not mushy.
Right.
So I cooked them for maybe 20-25 minutes, and then this is them after that. And then I took the foil off, and then this is them after that last final 10 minutes with the foil off. And then I just put some parsley on top for garnish. Delicious.
They were just the right bite. So
if you guys tried these recipes, let us know in the comments how they go.
It turned out well. All right, thanks for joining us, guys. We really appreciate you being here.
All right, we'll see you in the next video.
See ya.